I'm Connor Anderson, also known as Mr. Creates. I do videography, video marketing, photo marketing, kind of social media marketing in general, and also founder of Driven Dreams Media.
Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota, east side St. Paul. Grew up over in like more the Groveland area of St. Paul, and then yeah, the rest of my life had been, I guess, adolescent years in East St. Paul.
Yeah. Wow. And how did you start creating, and what drove you to begin creating?
So how you said, how did I start creating, and then what
and
drove
what
me
you to start creating?
Oh, to like just.
What was the spark?
I'm gonna get hate for this one, but
Uh-oh.
it was actually like money was what. I mean, but like I feel like a lot of this is why it's tough for me to say when people will be like, oh, I'm an artist. I think of myself more as like an entrepreneur with like an artistic, like a creative entrepreneur with an artistic eye. But when I first got started, it was literally because I was a freshman in high school and I couldn't get a job anywhere. So I picked up a camera. I was like, let me see if I can teach myself this. Started Googling away. Digital photography school, if anyone wants to learn photography, I'll plug them in real quick because that's literally, I learned everything off of that. From there, yeah, YouTube, but I guess after I started to learn, it really just drove me more so because I could express myself creatively. And then now I would say with starting my company with Driven Dreams Media, the whole goal for that was like growing up in East St. Paul, kind of grew up around a lot of shit that you know, in a typical cookie cutter life, you probably shouldn't even experience.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to, like, I found a way out creatively. I picked up a camera and it kept me out of doing a lot of other shit.
Word.
And so I wanted to provide that platform. So my end goal with my company is to actually start a like program where kids could come in, underprivileged kids who don't have access to these, you know, high-tech creative resources that you need. You know, there's a barrier price range to entry for really creating significant barriers. So like where they could come in, create under my company as like a DP or an assistant and kind of build their way up, learn the ropes, and almost like an internship program, but after X amount of shoots, they'd be able to, like, I'd hopefully, in the grand scheme of things, partner with some camera company or camera store.
Right.
They do 15 shoots, they get their own camera to go start their own company.
Just like
But
that.
they have, you know, 15 shoots under their belts of learning the whole business. So that's what really drives me now when I start to lose my way, is like, oh, that's the vision that I want to get back to. So that's, I guess, my guiding light. But I just love what I do. I love creating with creatives, and yeah. That's it.
Honestly.
It's the funnest job ever. Yeah.
On me, for real. I mean, I started it just out of like, I love to shoot photos and stuff, and then like,
Yeah.
I saw like, oh, I can make money from this, and like then I was able to continue because of that.
Word.
So it's like two sides, but we're both here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about where you are in your career. Like, where is your career right now? You know, and like out of like your whole grand scheme of plan, you know, where are you now?
Just like, that's a tough question. I don't know where I am now. I guess because I feel like as creatives, we are like, when I get to this point, you know, when I get this gear, when I get this client, when I meet this person, when I shoot this type of production, that's gonna be the thing. And I've gone on to like realizing that it's as cheesy as it's about the journey, like, you know. It's so cheesy to like say out loud.
It's kind of a trick question because like sometimes people don't answer it that way. Sometimes they do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say where I am now is where I expected myself to be a year and a half after I started. 15, like, some, like, what's that now? We're in 2021. I picked up a camera in like 10 years ago. So like,
That's
you know, I thought I was gonna like pick it up and like get going. I'm gonna be honest, I get really frustrated. I love it in the sense of how accessible things are now.
Sure.
But it also, I feel like, provides a weird chip on everyone's shoulder to like just go out and do it, and that's a really great thing. But I think there's like a very DIY, and you can tell it's a DIY thing. And then there's like a professional level of like, we're gonna get out and do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that line gets a little smeared
There's
in
so
the
many
middle.
fish in the sea though that like I try to not to know that out of me. But I hear you.
Well, no, I mean that in the sense of when I first started, I had that chip on my shoulder of thinking I was gonna pick up the camera and be where I'm at now, 10 years later.
Yeah.
That's probably like the most accurate way of me describing where I am now. Is I feel like I'm finally at that point where I have that foundation, where like I feel like I'm like, okay, I can have the little chip on my shoulder. I've got a little bit of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird, humble game, but you got to be like aggressive with it in the videography world.
Yeah, I hear you. I appreciate you saying that too, because like I felt that way too, and I feel similarly about my career as well. So it's good to see like a mirror there. Like, am I the only one? Like, no, okay, good.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Do you want me to go? I guess I can go like more in depth with like that was like really abstract. I could go in depth with like stuff that's going on. It doesn't really.
If you want to like highlight a project that you're working on or something like that, that'd be great. Yeah.
I don't have any just one project that I'm working on. But
What's something that stands out to you right now? I know like you might be working on a bunch of stuff, but like what's some like one client or like, you know what I mean, an account.
I guess it's not even so much like a client, but I guess it pertains to the where I am now question and kind of tying these two together is like I'm currently starting to interact with clients in a professional manner to actually build out full productions that have an art department with set design and a stylist, hair and makeup, catering. The schedule is planned out. It's not a show up and hey, we're gonna show up and shoot.
You're doing the scheduling?
I'm doing all of it, but then I'm delegating it out. So that's through like the production company. So
Gotcha.
I'm head of production in that sense, but then like finding the right people to then work with. But I feel like I'm finally at a point now where that's becoming a reality, and that's where I've always wanted to, I guess, get to is those bigger productions. I want to get a helicopter man with a whole camera mounted to it. Just fly the helicopter around.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you what people have to pay to book you, but if you're talking about helicopters, that's.
Oh, I mean, no, I guess I try to be super flexible. That's the other thing. Like, I got a big heart and I do way too many things for the love. And it breaks my heart every time those things don't work out.
Hey, this man. Hey, this man.
But no, I try to be flexible in the sense of I actually watched, I don't even know what YouTube video it was or what YouTube channel, but they were doing just budget breakdowns, and they were like, okay, if I want to hire this person, I have to take the minimum wage and I have to times it by 12 hours because we're going to book them for a 12-hour day. So like in Minnesota, the minimum that I could pay any assistant for coming out that day would be $100. So, you know, say you need something where you need 2 camera operators, you know, you want to pay them a little bit more than the assistant, you need an assistant. So you got 3 people on set, it's already like $600-700 just for shooting that. And then I guess thinking of a production rate on top of that. So where are you shooting? Are you getting, you know, props for that? Are you getting cars, you know, wardrobe, jewelry, anything like that? So that's more so how I try to go about pricing instead of being like, you know, I tried the whole, it's this much for a it's this much for a video and like deal with it, and it just didn't make sense.
You choose to pay yourself at least the minimum wage.
At least minimum wage.
At least, and that's fair.
Yeah, so
honestly, it's called minimum for a reason, right? Like,
exactly, and I figure like if I get to do the job that I love, and like at the same time I got different pricing models for commercial work as well as more creative work. So, but more creative work is trying to be understanding and at least getting people paid minimum wage or fed good or something, some kind of but more about getting away from the. I'm an advocate for getting away from like that flat price videographer pricing model, because I feel like it's detrimental to us as videographers and creatives and as a community. Like, it's beneficial for time's sake, but in the grand scheme of things, it leaves a lot of like, if you switch to a different videographer and they charge this and you're not getting what you expected from the last person you got to and they charge that, that's just not a good customer experience. So I try to just, hey, this is what it costs to just make it. Do you want to make it? Cool. Do you want to take this out? Cool. And then
That
try to
hourly
let
rate is
that go.
definitely a good way to go.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that because I chose to do that a while ago as well.
Okay.
And it seemed like there was like sort of pushback on that. Like people were like specifically like rap artists, like kind of like push back on that. Like, "Oh, this guy charges this." It's like I don't care what they charge. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my rate. You know, you can pay it, or we can do something else. You know?
And you got to take back that stance as like also, because it's easy to get videography mixed up as just like, you can go about it as just a business, but if you have any type of passion or artistry with it, like for someone to be like, oh, you value yourself at this much, but we're gonna value at this much, and it's like, well, we don't need to work together then. Like, so it's, you know, I think it's really strong on you to have that, right? Like, hey, you know, that's all right, or this is how I do it, sort of thing. Hey, they're jamming out there. Hey. You got a touchpad? It's fancy in here. Hey.
I don't know who's controlling that. We should have to play it here.
A little BTS real quick.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
just kidding. I gotta turn the camera around.
Take your time. I just got one more question for you.
Hey, out here, interview things. I always find it hilarious seeing people do their social media,
In the interview?
or like just like in general.
I'm leaving that in there.
No, that's fine. No, like I had a shoot with Zyna and Ricky Monique yesterday, and Ricky Monique does like, I love her Instagram stories, but I saw how she records them, and like she just like has it on the hands-free record thing, and then goes in and like, you know, does what she needs to do to trim it up for just Instagram stories. But I was like, oh, you can do that? Because like I'm just over here like,
Yeah.
hey guys, how's it going? And I
I
was
mean,
just like,
honestly, I kind of like it when people do that. It makes it feel like more personal.
mm,
You know?
that's real.
Last question.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you want, like, for the next week or the next month, next year? You know what I mean? Like, what do you see coming?
What do I see coming for what in general?
For Driven Dreams.
Oh, for like the company, for like growth wise, or like what do I?
What's your goal?
I don't know. I just want to have fun. I want to create. The summer is in full swing. I'm ready to create, but I really just want to shoot as big of productions as possible with amazing clients and just have as much fun doing it. I always find things are through good work, good food, good communication, networking. So as much of that as possible this summer.
Foodie, so you got me there.
Oh, I had for one of RZ's music videos, we ordered like $150 from Golden Grill after the shoot for his I'm Gone video. Had like jerk chicken and rice, like platters after the video.
And that's what life is really all about. Like, I realize that you don't have to like be the biggest whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? If you have good people around you and you have, and you're in prosperity, you're eating, that's what life is all about. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. If there's anything else you would like to add though about yourself, your career, or anything in the Twin Cities, please feel free to.
Okay. Let me think real quick.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming too.
Oh, definitely. This is fun. It's good. I've been telling myself, because I'm about to not rebrand, but start on my own personal social media strategy, because I'm one of those people that like, I'm really good at setting up stuff and helping people out getting their stuff going, but like when it comes to my stuff, I'm like, oh, I'll get to it, or like I'll get to it, or like I'll just like toss this up. And I've been really fortunate because all of my business, this will be the 4th year in business, all my business has been word of mouth. Like the last 2 years, my website's been down, but like I went full time creating, like no website, like barely anything on Instagram, just word of mouth. So I was like really fortunate from that, but I'm trying to change that and like take myself seriously.
During the pandemic, that's crazy too. Like,
I was blessed.
maybe you'll get to the point where like you have enough business that you can hire someone to do that for you.
Which part?
Social media.
Oh, maybe. I like doing it
Or if you enjoy
in the
it.
sense of, I find it really fascinating understanding who's watching your stuff as well as like
For sure.
why they're there. Like I saw somebody post
like
the
marketing and creative.
yeah, so that's what Driven Dreams Media really is. Like how I try to market that is like a full, like creative, like video, more like it's a video marketing content production house sort of thing. There's no good just single title for it, but offering like photo and video services, photo and video marketing. I guess that's like the more commercial sort of thing. But really sitting down with clients, like I'll damn near talk everybody out of working with me. They'll be like, hey bro, how much for this? And I'll be like, I could just like, you know, be like $500 and go shoot the video. But I'll be like, why do you want to shoot this? Well, I just want a cool video. Why? Well, I just want this for Instagram. Cool, why? Well, I just want this. Like, all right, but like you're paying me like $750 now. And like, if my delivery does not answer your why, you're not gonna have a good time and you're gonna be mad about that $750. So I'll like get to the point where I'm just like, I don't think this is something I can take on. Like, you know, I don't like really doing trendy, cool stuff. I do more like narrative storytelling, try to be like more cinematic with it than like TikTok-y type trends. Or like even, I'm not good at effects. My computer's always hated me, so I don't really do like virtual effects and things like that.
Sounds like a technical problem though.
Yeah, but it's just limited me creatively from like enjoying that. So
Gotcha.
I tend to like I'm not the guy to go to be like, give me that choppy video with the, I'll be like, nah, I'll like match cut something and like, we'll tell a story. What story do you want to tell?
Look up Ben Hughes or Robert Henry for those.
Yeah, and they're cold at like, that's what they do. And like they're cold at it.
Yeah.
But
I would
that
love
hurts
to
my
have that
brain.
on panel too. I would love to do a panel though eventually. Like I'll try to plan it, but I told them hell in advance. So like,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah, I guess yeah, like doing marketing as well. So I guess like my biggest dive into it so far with the client is I recently went to LA to shoot with St. Paul artists. We just went out there to shoot some stuff, and we delivered a whole like we as like Driven Dreams Media, the company, delivered like a whole social media rollout for him of like 8 different posts leading up to like the actual release. And it was his first video out with no like real audience for music, and that video ended up doing like 2K in a week for views. So like it's
First
like
video?
first video
Yeah.
up sort of thing. Like
Because you did what you had to do beforehand.
the marketing got to it, and like even I was just more on like a geeky analytical side. Like I was looking up because we launched it under the Driven Dreams Media YouTube, and I was looking at the analytics, and it was ranking behind like Lil Durk's what is it, the Trackhawks, the what's it,
It was ranking with Lil Durk.
like the suggested video after his video, you know, the Lil Durk music video, fucking something in Trackhawks. I think it's Hellcats and Trackhawks.
I only know a little
But,
bit Durk. Yeah.
Like you know how like YouTube will suggest or like autoplay a video after that. Like it was ranking as the autoplay after that, and it was getting like 60% of its like recurring
On like the
views.
first day or something? Or?
Yeah, like this was like the first
Because it was
48
getting all
hours.
that Traffic.
The traffic from it, but that was just like
Good job.
due to like the marketing, and like he's that style of artist too, so that's like who we were marketing it towards, and it was just all organic marketing, but having that set up. So I'm really passionate about making sure that's, you know, just things are planned out. Yeah, stressful shoots suck for everybody. Do you want to say, and this is Staring at the City?
Or whatever comes naturally.
Okay. Hey, it's Mr. Creates, and this is Staring at the City. Okay, I was a little bit deep on that. Hey, let me that might peak the audio there. Let me get a little clean audio take for you. Hey, it's Mr. Creates, and this is Staring at the City.